The knock wasn't impatient. It was deliberate. I opened the door and saw her, my wife, standing with a man half a step behind her, his hand lazily resting on the shoulder of a child I had never seen before. She didn't say hello. She didn't even glance at me the way a stranger might. Just, sign these divorce papers and leave now. No prelude, no explanation. Like I was a tenant who'd overstayed. The boyfriend's eyes had that smug gleam, like he was already measuring my chair for his comfort. The child clung to his leg, peeking at me with wide eyes. I didn't move, didn't touch the papers. I just stood there, listening to the faint ticking of the wall clock behind me. And then, "Mom, you really don't know?" My daughter's voice cut through the stillness. She was at the top of the stairs, holding a single folded paper in her trembling hands. She walked down slowly, ignoring her mother's glare, and placed it on the coffee table. The air changed. My wife froze. Her boyfriend's smirk faltered. They both went pale. I hadn't even opened the letter yet. The weeks before this moment were strange. She had been working late more often, guarding her phone like it was an organ she couldn't survive without. The scent on her clothes wasn't mine. Her laughter, when she thought I wasn't listening, was softer, freer. I didn't accuse her, not then. I've learned something about betrayal. It rots slower when you starve it of oxygen. But then came the small signs. A receipt for a hotel an hour away. A photo of her, taken from behind, on a pier we'd never been to together. The way she deleted messages before walking into the room. And now, this. Her new lover. A child. Divorce papers. I knew the betrayal ran deep. I just didn't know how deep, yet. I played the loyal husband for weeks after my suspicions took root. Silent. Attentive. Invisible. I bought a prepaid phone. I set up an email address she didn't know existed. Hired a lab, not the kind you see in crime shows, but the kind that knows discretion is worth more than truth. I took my daughter's help, carefully. She'd seen more than I'd wanted, heard whispers behind closed doors. We collected what we needed: a toothbrush, a hairbrush, a pacifier left behind once during one of my wife's girls' nights. 3 separate DNA samples, 3 envelopes, no names, only numbers. While I waited for results, I watched them. The boyfriend started showing up in little ways, dropping her off down the street, parking far away when he thought no one was watching. Once I saw the child in the back seat. The boy stared out the window, confused, as if the adults around him spoke in codes he didn't understand. I didn't rush. Truth isn't a thing you chase. It's a thing you let ripen until it's too heavy to hold. The results arrived in a plain, unmarked envelope. I sat at the kitchen table, my coffee cold. 3 pages. 3 truths. Sample A, my DNA. Sample B, child, 99.99% match. Sample B, child. Sample C, boyfriend's DNA, 0% match. Sample C, boyfriend. Sample A, me, no relation. The boy was mine. Not his, not theirs, mine. And suddenly, the rest of the puzzle clicked. She'd lied to him, too, told him the child was his, dragged him into her fantasy of a new life built on a false paternity test she'd faked for his benefit. I didn't smile. Smiling would have been too loud. Which brings us here, at my doorway. Her holding papers, him holding my son. Sign them, she repeats, but there's less steel in her voice now. I slide the DNA report across the table toward them without a word. She glances down, then freezes. The boyfriend leans in, eyes scanning the first line, then the second. His face drains of color. Her hand trembles. The boy, my boy, looks between them, sensing the shift. "What is this?" she stammers. "Truth," I say. No shouting, no accusations, just one word that leaves them gasping. The boyfriend steps back like the paper burned him. His grip on the child loosens. He mutters something, too low to catch, and storms out the door without looking back. She doesn't follow. She's too busy staring at the document as if it's a live grenade. I reach down, lift my son into my arms, and for the first time, he doesn't resist. "You should go," I tell her. She doesn't argue, doesn't plead. She just walks out, closing the door behind her with a soft, final click. The silence that follows is clean. I look at my son. His eyes, my eyes, stare back. He doesn't know what just happened, and maybe that's better. I set the papers on the table, untouched. The clock is still ticking, but it sounds different now. Betrayal leaves scars, but sometimes it leaves you with something worth keeping. I don't watch her leave. I don't watch the road. Some truths don't need witnesses, and some endings don't need words. If you want, I can also give you a cinematic screenplay-style version of this same story, so it feels even more like a scene from a dark psychological thriller. That would make the atmosphere even heavier. Would you like me to do that?